Okay, this is a Leo reading for the fall of 2016. It's the end of August here, so anytime after that, August, September, October, and that timing I'm thinking. Your first situational card here is number 26, Love Without Condition. So I'm getting a sense of everybody's lovey-dovey. It doesn't always have to be in a relationship here, but loving without condition is maybe getting kind of a sense of a couple that is maybe a little bit too controlling. And Leos, well, they like things in control. They like things in bounds. So loving without condition, it may simply mean that you kind of, you know, you need to be restrained a little bit in that area. So you kind of have to maybe put some of those barriers down or those boundaries down. That may be something that you have to do here. What is crossing you is number 42. Show that you care. So loving without condition and showing that you care, it's almost like you have a sense of not being able to show affection or to show that you care, period. Being a crossing card, it's like that is something that is in conflict. Either you're not wanting to accept the love that's given, or you're not able to give love that you have or that you're feeling. So that may be a challenge for you in that way, is to be a little more caring, a little more loving, and a little more physically, you know, move into that power of showing. You know, it's not just hang out. Let's show that you care. You know, go a little bit beyond the norm and come out of yourself a little bit. So that is your immediate situation. What's in the air for you is let two become one. So just had that in another reading, but in a different spot, it means completely different. So letting two become one, it's almost like there's thoughts of someone that's trying to get with someone else. There's a relationship that's trying to get off the ground here. But in your immediate, right now, up to this point, you have not shown them, so they do not know. You are being coy, and you're, frankly, the other person doesn't even know. I get a sense of someone who's kind of sitting there having the hots for someone, and they're not coming out of their shell at all. They're not showing nothing. They're not giving anything. They're just kind of like, hey, bud, and they expect the other person to know. No, they're not going to know. So letting two become one, these thoughts of a couplehood, they ain't going to go nowhere for these Leos if they don't come out of their shell and drop the barrier that they have between this other person. I'm getting a real sense of these people wanting to couple up and wanting to go through, but just not giving the other person anything logically to get there with. It's a lot of couple stuff here all of a sudden, but yeah, so it's in the air, it's on your mind. You're wanting to get together, you're wanting to be grounded and stable, but we'll see how it goes here. So what's in your passing is know your fears. So if that's an energy that's passing away from you, I'm getting a sense that you're denying your fears, not listening to your fearful thoughts, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think you have to listen to them so you can go into them and challenge your not only your thoughts, but thoughts about fear. We kind of have to go into them to get through them and pass them. So if that is knowing your fears is passing, means you're kind of putting up the blinders, going, I ain't looking, I ain't touching, you're just not going there, you're not touching. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's within a relationship. Again, I get this sense that this Leo wants to go. They want to go in this relationship, but they're not willing to do anything for it. They want them to come and kneel at their feet. Well, it ain't going to happen. And even for Leo, it may not happen. That is kind of their air. It's like, you bow before me, but it ain't going to happen, I'll tell you, if they ain't getting no good vibes from you. They ain't getting anything above and beyond the norm that they get from the housekeeper or from anyone that walks in the street, the postal guy. They're not getting that. Forget about it. So anyway, what's coming in your near future is know that you belong. So what I really get a sense here of is when you need to know you belong is a sense of self-worth. So the reasoning behind the fact that you're not coming out is that fear of rejection, or fear of maybe feeling like it may not be a good couple, or it may not be a good match, or it may not be the right thing. But this card for your near future is basically kind of giving you the strength to say that you do belong, and you will belong, and you should go through it, and not only trudge through your fears and over top of them, but go there with a sense of courage to get through it. So knowing you belong is basically having a sense of not feeling worthy, but at the same time the universe saying, you know what, you are, so just get in there. Just get in there. Go after it. That kind of an attitude. Leos, come on. Come on. You're Leo, you're going out, you're wanting to stroll through this stuff, go and get it. Whatever it is. Like, it may not even be, a lot of these things are kind of wrapped in your relationship, but it may not even be a relationship. It may be a job offer. It may be some kind of lesson that you maybe realize that you have to go through that is not quite sitting well with you. Maybe coming at you from a place that you're a little unsure of. Your confidence isn't quite there in that spot, in the right piece, the confidence a little off. So basically the energies are saying, no, there's no need for that. Know that you belong there, and act like you belong there, and you'll belong there. And that's obviously dealing with energy situations as well, just being in that energy of, yeah, I belong, so therefore you are. So in your distant future, there's a card here. It says, wash away your burdens. So having a feeling of having a lot of maybe past issues come forward that are maybe part of the reason that you don't feel sure, part of the reason that you don't feel like you should go in this direction, whatever it is, whether it's career, whether it's love, whether it's I get a sense it's something unknown to you. It's something that you've not really had a lot of experience with, and so burdens can kind of culminate on top of that, because it's in a fearful place. Suddenly things from everywhere, it's like all these fears, they just mount on top. But having a sense of needing to kind of just rid yourself of that, it's almost like there's a hold that something has on you to prevent you from moving forward. We'll see where that goes here. So in your distant future, you're going to have to deal with some of these baggages that you've been carrying around, whether it's in a relationship wise, job wise, or I don't feel it's a job that it's carrying. I feel like it's like if we're dealing in a situation where these Leos are coming out of their comfort zone to either accept something or do something that is out of the ordinary, but having to deal with stuff from the past because of that coming up, and then these things that were attached to, I can't even express it, but it's almost like things we just never deal with for so long. We don't deal with anything for so long, and then our issues can come up and compound on top of our fears of wanting to take this step. It's like there's fears from your childhood or something coming in, so you need to wash that away. What's on your path here? Challenge your perception. So really kind of getting a sense that I think you have a good sense of what's true and just, but at the same time needing to challenge them. Maybe you're not thinking deep enough, or maybe not thinking deep enough or wide enough, varied enough. So perception, there seems to be a bit of a role there. Time to ground. So, getting a sense here that some of these Leos may not be, so close to the earth. They may be a little bit off in the ways that they're thinking, a little bit flying off the handle, not so grounded, not so stable. So be aware of that. Nourish the soul. Yeah. And I mean, I'm thinking nature with that, and it's funny, there's a cat here. So with the symbol of, Leo, it almost like you kind of have to reach inside yourself for your natural ability to kind of pump yourself up, pump your own self up. And I feel like through that, you may get some clarity, and it may even help with the rest of the baggage that you have built up. It's kind of taking the time to relax, but in a spiritual kind of way, in really an internal way. You looking at yourself and going inward from there. I think that's really, when they say nourish the soul, I think that's what they mean, is you're just kind of looking inside, and then, when you go to do things that please you and your character and make you happy, we're programmed to feel guilt over that. So I'm saying don't, because these Leos can be very, very straight-laced when it comes to duty and work and all of that as well, as Virgos are like that too. But you have to take time to nourish yourself, so don't feel guilty about that. That may be a burden of trying to kind of get away from maybe the work schedule and feeling that that's not the right thing to do, or you can't do that and make progress. Well, you can, because it's nourishing your soul, and that just revives you for everything, all, whether it's a relationship, job, whatever. When you take a break from it and you do what you want to do, if you're stifled in a relationship, then get out of it and make yourself happy, and then go back and say, okay, is this detrimental to me? Can I do this and be with this person, or whatever? Or if it's a job, can I get away for a while and revive myself? Because I do get a sense of duty here with these Leos, that they're kind of just head to the grindstone as well, being a fire sign, and just fire under their butt, and away they go. So you got to kind of nourish your spirit a little bit and take care of that. And then your outcome card is need and necessity. So that's the thing, right? You're driven. Why? Because you need to buy a house. You need to get a car. You need to get whatever. You need to pay the bills. This is what it is. So if everything in that way is on cue, then you can start to take care, relax a little bit, take care of yourself. Just don't overexpel yourself in that area. And I mean, Leos are the best for that. Just throwing money around a little bit and kind of being showy with it. I mean, that's a tendency that can happen. So as long as you're not taxing yourself with that, overblowing things, I feel like as long as you take care of the needs and necessities, you'll be fine. So I shuffled the animal cards. So I'm going to pull an animal card to kind of clarify this, because this is all over the place. I'm getting relationship, then I'm getting work, then I'm getting, burdens and stuff. So we'll see. I got the tortoise, and it said, you're too frightened, so do whatever it takes to get grounded. So there's another grounding card. So there's something that's throwing you off. Something that's spinning your head in the clouds here, and you're just not really coming down from it. And something that's really scaring you. And if it's a relationship, could be, man or woman that's coming into your space that's throwing you, and you're in dreamland all the time, can't think straight. And it may be that kind of thing. Or it may be a job that maybe you're in a job and you're dreaming about another job, but, not doing anything about it. That could be. Or it could be just maybe being in a situation where you're kind of grumpy and kind of out of touch with reality, because you're just not liking where you're at, but you're not doing anything about it. It's just really a thing of kind of being in your head and thinking about things and wanting things different, and really not feeling, I don't know if it's a matter of feeling or just not doing anything about it in that way, just kind of being floaty and in your head and living in your head and kind of going, I don't care, I just, it feels better in my head, and kind of fearful to kind of make that change. That's kind of, I think, what's going on here is there's stuff here that kind of needs to be dealt with, burdens, fears, necessity, needs, nourishing. You need to take time out, it seems like, from no matter what it is, whether it's work, relationship or whatever. It seems like there's got to be a pull back from it. Not like a breakup or, quit your job, but kind of pull back and think for yourself. Think about yourself. Think more inward, into your soul about things. And I mean, Leos can, I don't know if they can be that deep. I mean, they, on the whole, they like to have fun. They like to be out and enjoy themselves. But some of them can get very dragged down in how do you say, not really appreciating life for what it throws at you, And I mean, any of the signs can get bogged down in there's no two ways, but a sense of grounding, so needing to ground. So, I mean, we're still on the end of summer here, so I mean, just get outside and relax a little bit. I feel like, like even some water sports, if the weather's nice enough around this time, it's kind of get grounded and get into a situation where you're dealing with friends and kind of relaxing, camping, that kind of thing. I always promote camping, but just getting close to the earth, being outside more. If you're a person that's always in the office, get outside a little bit. Even if you just go for your lunch, the back of the shop, outside in the sun. It's just because the fluorescent lighting, whatever, man or woman. Maybe just get out a bit and ground. And I mean, it's good advice for anyone. So yeah, could also mean to slow down a little bit. Maybe going too fast. Tortoise is slow, steady, and need a necessity. Maybe just working too hard, too fast, and you got to slow things down a bit. And take things in, nourish the soul, feed the spirit, ground out, so that kind of thing. So that was the fall reading, spiritual reading for Leo. So hopefully that made some kind of sense to somebody out there. Yeah, just a sense of, there's kind of a lot going on with these Leos in all different areas, I feel. I mean, I'm being vast with all the, because it's not just one person I'm reading for, but at the same time I'm feeling like there is a lot within what each Leo. I think there's a lot going on, and maybe head nose to the grindstone, and there's still a lot of stuff going on around them, maybe not dealing with their issues so much, and more with work and need and necessity. And you're saying back off of that a little bit. Feel around for your soul. Where's that at? What's it doing? What does that feel like? Where's my soul? You've got to figure it out. These Leos, they got to figure it out. So hopefully that helps. And yeah, so that is the two readings here that I kind of did before fall. And hopefully that made sense to you Leos out there. And yeah. Stay straight, Leos. You'll get there. You just have to walk into the fear instead of away from it. I think is something. It's like if you get the least bit edgy, you just kind of go right around. You have to walk right into it. That's all. And then don't let go of your soul while you're doing it. Go in there and read. Read what your soul's saying. Feel what it's feeling. And sense what it's, it's easier to say, it's so easy to say that. It's so easy to say that. But when you're going through it, it's harder, and it's more tedious and more, it's really a strange thing to kind of Evaluate your own soul for am I fearful? Am I happy? Does this make me mad? Does it make me angry? Why am I feeling this? What's going on? You know, because we're just not ready. Not that we're not ready. We just haven't been trained or haven't looked. We've been veered away from that format. And the format is we've got to go into the fear instead of away from it. Because it really is less than we expect. Because the fear is never as bad as we expect it to be. It's always less. It's always, I've never had it more than, when I've been fearful of something, it's always been worse in my mind than it ever has been on the level. If I go into something I fear, which is something that's not very often, it has never ever been as bad as I perceived it to be, so easy to say. But anyway, so that's the Leo reading, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we will talk to you later. I'm Shauna from Infinity Readings and Reviews. That's on Facebook if you want to join. Not much action at this moment, but in the fall, I'll be kicking it up a notch. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but something will go on. There'll be action there. So anyhow, take care, have fun, and be kind.